Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining VistaVu Solutions Q&A Cafe on enhancements to V10 SAP Business One, including mobile in SAP Business One. With your host, Shannon Kennedy. My name is Leo and I will be facilitating today. We will be recording this session, so everyone will remain on mute, and the recording will be sent out next week. If you have any questions, please type them into the questions or chat box window at any time, and we will answer them near the end of this presentation. Please join us also for our next Q&A Cafe 2 weeks from now on Wednesday, August 4th for actual costing in SAP Business by Design. And you can find the registration information about that on our resources page, on our website, or in the email that will be sent out next week. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Shannon now.
Thanks so much, Leo. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be discussing a little bit of information regarding the enhancements made to SAP Business One version 10. Today, we will be looking at the enhancements inside of an SAP HANA data environment, but most of the information that we'll be going over today is also available in your SQL system. So if anyone has any questions or concerns, just as Leo said, we will have some time at the end of our call, and this will be recorded for anyone who cannot attend. So can everyone see my screen okay? Leo, am I showing my screen on your side?
Yep, you're good to go.
Wonderful. So some of the enhancements made to SAP Business One version 10 have to do with some small but kind of helpful data and user enhancements. One of them being, the first that you'll see here is that your name and the company that you're logged in now show at the top of your screen here. This is also a clickable option here, which will show you all of the other companies that you currently have access to, and you can sign in directly from this screen. One of the other useful things that SAP has done is it's made your toolbar seen here on the top of your screen. You do have the ability to hide that now, which increases the overall size of your screen should you be working on a report or simply maybe a large sales order that takes up a little bit more of your screen. This allows you to see a little bit more of that information without having to scroll through the document or report. Some other options that SAP has done for us is allow the option to minimize and maximize certain screens. One of these options is our general setting screens, which in the past, we've gotten multiple questions regarding the general setting screens and the fact that all of the information here is relatively small and the screen was not able to be enlarged. Now, however, in version 10, you can enlarge this screen. Some of the other screens that are able to be maximized and minimized include your company details screen, your posting period screen, your checks for payment, our print preferences, some of our general ledger information, as well as your trial balance reevaluation, and your approval stages, as well as others. For additional information regarding all of the screens that have that ability, I can certainly make that information available to you. But this is just a small enhancement that's making SAP Business One a little bit more user-friendly. We also have the ability inside of our setup screen here to see some of the screens that we're using here for our users and be able to minimize and maximize that information as well. You have the option inside of your user screen to not only copy over your authorizations, which has been available for quite some time in SAP Business One, but you can actually copy over form settings for your users now as well. What that does is that will alleviate having to set up a new user and all of their forms, including your sales forms, your reports, your purchase order forms, your business partner records, all of those individually for those users, depending upon the information that they need to see. You can simply choose a user that you want to make sure that they have the same form settings as, and you can copy them directly from the user setup here. This will alleviate a lot of time in setting up your new users. And it was not previously available, so you would have to do that manually in previous versions of SAP Business One. If we go into our licenses option underneath your admin menu, they've also added the option to see the user name next to the user login information. What that allows you to do is see the full information for your user, not just the user code that they're logging into SAP Business One with. This is obviously very helpful should you have users with the same name or you have users with a name that doesn't include a first or last name information. It will also still, of course, show you your license types that are assigned to those users, just like in prior versions. Another additional small enhancement, but is very helpful, is an enhancement to your query manager. We all know that you can create easily queries directly from your query manager. Here, you can use the generator to create a query if you don't know exactly what tables you need, which will give you a little bit more information. And then you can save them within your queries, or you can simply go to your query manager here, and you're able to look at all of the queries currently saved in your system, as well as create new ones from here as well. A new option that you have here is for queries that are existing in the system or new queries, you can assign them to the proper menu directly from this screen, which did not used to be an option. You used to have to do that within making the query. Now you can do it directly from here, and you can also change the menu that a current report is in. So if someone accidentally saves a report under the incorrect category or menu option, you can feel free to change directly from this screen. Obviously, the authorizations in regard to queries are needed for any user to operate within the Query Manager screen. That's standard SAP Business One authorizations. There's also been a few options in regard to your change log information. I'm simply going to open up one of our sales orders so that we can take a look at our standard SAP Business One change log for a document. Now, this will go in regard to any document or information inside of B1 that has the ability to access your change log. There's been some added information that just gives you a little bit more detail about who the user was and when the change was made. So if we're opening up our change log from our sales order here, we see that we have some additional columns here with additional information regarding who created this document, when, and when the updates were made in terms of date and time. This is very helpful if you have multiple documents being worked on by multiple people. That way you know who made the change and when, and can reach out to that exact person to see why they made a change. And again, that's available in any screen that SAP Business One has the change log available for you. Inside of our new sales orders, as well as our purchase orders and any other marketing documents inside of SAP Business One, we have something called the Add button that's been added. Everyone knows that in standard B1, when you open up a new marketing document, here on the bottom left of your screen, it normally opens in add mode. Once you added that document, it closes that document and opens up a clear document also in add mode. In Business One version 10, you have the option to default that now so that when you add a document, you can still have it open up a new document once it's been added. However, you also have the option to add that document and then leave that document open so you can view the document you've entered to make sure that it's correct. And you also have the add close document, which means that once you add that new document, it will automatically be closed and you can go on your way to another option or menu inside of your SAP Business One. Once you've chosen your option here, every time you add a document, it will default to what you chose the first time. So I've chosen Add View, which means that once I've added my updated marketing document, I'll be able to view that document. However, utilizing this drop-down caret, you can always change what your option is. This change is not company-wide based either. This is per user, which means that every user can set it however is convenient for them. And you changing it, you won't have to worry that anyone else in your company is seeing those changes either. Another great enhancement to our marketing documents, if I'm just going back into one of my already saved documents, SAP Business One has always allowed you to make an attachment here inside of all of your marketing documents. However, in the past, it was not able to carry over this document to various target documents. What that means is it was not available to carry it over to your delivery or your invoice in regard to our sales order here. However, any of the attachments now inside of your marketing documents, your AP documents, or your AR documents will now carry over to every target document. So your sales order, creating your delivery, that delivery will also include this document here without having to reattach it for the users. So this saves a little bit of time, but you do also have the opportunity when those new target documents are created, you can simply delete this attachment as well if it's no longer needed. But it is a default that it will carry over to all of those new documents. Now I'm going to open up one of our sales quote documents. An interesting enhancement to your sales quote documents has been a valid to date that is automatically defaulted based upon your document settings in B1. What that means is that it's automatically setting an expiration date for your sales quotes. My demo system here is set up for 30 days. What that means is once I add my new sales quote, this quote will be valid until 8/21/21. So the customer has until that date to approve this document, and we have until that date to accept the pricing and the quantities based upon what the sales quote was agreed. You can set this date for anything in terms of 1 day, 5 days, 15 days, out to 60 or 90 days, should you require those valid dates or expiration dates to be a little bit longer or shorter. There is only an option to set it one time throughout the company for this setting. What that means is that if you have a business partner that's got a specific valid to agreement with you, you will have to manually override this valid to date, but any user that has access to entering in your sales quote has the ability to update that field manually as well. Now I'm simply going to use my lookup menu, and I'm going to look up our approval screen. Inside of our approval status report, you normally can see anything that's awaiting approval, anything that's been approved, and anything that's been rejected, and information regarding, of course, those updates, why something might be pending or why something is rejected. In the past, if something was in pending mode, you were unable to make changes. However, in SAP Business One version 10, you're actually able to update documents seen in pending status. So inside our report here, we're able to, of course, open up our draft document since it's not been approved yet. But in opening up this document, we are able to make changes to it here, which will show in our pending here. Now, the added information regarding the changes that you've made have been added in the columns relating to your draft updated date, by, and time. This allows any of your master approvers to come in and see that changes were made, when they were made, and by who. So that way they can follow up with the team to ensure that this document is actually able to be approved and should be approved with the changes being made. Now back to our SAP main menu here. There's been some minor changes inside of our production option as well. Inside of your bill of materials, SAP Business One has now added some additional information regarding your parent and child items. In the past, you were not able to see a full description of your child items within your bill of materials. However, in Business One version 10, you can see not only the item number, but the description here as well. The description can also be changed at will by any user that has the authorizations to update a bill of materials to include information that you may want someone to see on your bill of materials without actually updating your item master record. This can be done for various reasons, or you can simply leave the item master description here. You are also able to drill down to your item master in terms of your child records directly from your BOM as well. So any of these golden arrows will automatically update the system and open up my item master record. Of course, this doesn't save an incredible amount of time, but it is a nice enhancement to be able to see all of the information regarding that bill of materials inside of one screen without having to open up multiple screens. Now we're going to look at a few of our reporting options that have been enhanced in SAP version 10. Simply going to open up my reports here. And my first option I'm going to go in is one of my financial reports. I'm going to open up my general ledger report, select my business partner as normal, and then once I open up this report, you'll see that I have some additional information available and accessible directly from our reporting screen. This was previously unavailable in SAP versions before now. So it's very helpful in terms of being able to drill into information without having to go into multiple screens for your team. So we see we can drill into our business partner, our document, as well as our GL accounts now, directly from your financial report. Multiple reports in SAP now have that ability, including reports that not only show your GL information as well as your business partner information, but also one or the other information. Some other report enhancements have to do with our open item list. I'm going to simply use our quick look menu here, and I'm going to open up our open item lists underneath our sales reports. Inside of our open item lists, we have a little bit more information regarding our items. So the first report that opens is regarding our open documents for our AR invoices. You see that we have a few extra columns added here, including blanket agreement. SAP has created a few options here that allow the user to see if payments have been made regarding AP reserve invoices or blanket agreements, as well as what the payment was made. Perhaps it was a partial or a full payment. So anyone on your sales team or your management team can see all of that information and drill into the document and business partner related to that information directly from your open item list. This will go for your open item list in regard to AR, AP, or your items. We do have the ability to also see some information regarding incoming payments and outgoing payments. In SAP Business One, you have the ability to enter in draft payments for outgoing or incoming payments. Other users who may not be the ones actually entering in these payments or may not have access to the customer's incoming, outgoing payments or the banking module at all, now have the ability to actually look up your banking payment draft report, which will show any incoming and outgoing payments draft. That allows them to do is work better with the customer and know what payments are coming in so they know what's going on with their customer and they know that there's a payment outstanding. They know not to follow up on AR, for example, or they know possibly that a PO is in the midst of being paid, so they know they can call that vendor and ask for an update. Something interesting that's been added to some of our screens, including our incoming and outgoing payments, is the ability to reference a document. So you'll see this button with this option here on many of your SAP Business One screens. If we simply enter in one of our customers here and select one of our invoices to be paid, we can also reference any specific document in SAP Business One related to this payment. You have the ability to use your drop-down menu here to select where this document is coming from. So if I want to, for example, link a specific sales quote to this document that we see in our payment here and the invoice related, I can simply enter it here. What this allows to do is other users may be going in and seeing these payments be done, but they may not be privy to certain information as to why a price was given for a specific item or quantity. So this allows them to see the corresponding documents all from your one screen here in your payments. It allows them to see who created these quotes and why the payment may be a little bit different than what they were expecting to see. And any reference document, you'll see a small number in parentheses here that will tell you how many reference documents you have related to the incoming payment, the outgoing payment, or other screens as well. And then simply opening up your reference document will show you all of the documents that were referenced here. Again, simply something that allows the team to save a little bit of time and give your customers the best customer service without having to go in and out of multiple screens while you're speaking to your customers or a manager on your internal team. Now I'm going to open up our posting period option. Earlier, we mentioned that in our posting periods, we are now able to maximize our screen here. However, we also have the option here to create new periods with a due date in your next financial year. Many of us know that the end of the year can be very hectic, and it takes a little bit of manual intervention in the past to create your new posting periods. So when creating our new posting periods in the past, we open up our screen here and we have to manually enter in all of this information. However, utilizing our creating new posting periods option, we simply select the month to end, as well as the number of periods and the days after the period will end. And then in creating our new periods, this information will be automatically filled in based upon these options here. That will allow your accounting team or your management team to save a little bit of time and make sure that every year posting periods are consistent, which we all know is a huge bonus in regard to all of your posting periods and your fiscal year end closing to ensure that things are consistently put into the correct posting periods. Now that we've gone through some of our enhancements inside of our reporting, our screens, as well as some user and authorizations, one of the largest enhancement to version 10 has been the extended service layer that SAP has enabled all of the version 10 systems to work with. What this means is that information that was previously available and options that were previously available only in HANA-based systems are now also available in your SQL-based systems. One of the biggest enhancements and the most useful has been the application of SAP's mobile client. On your SAP toolbar here, you have the option to open up your web client here. If we click on our option, it's going to open up our SAP Business One web client directly in your browser, where you're able to sign in utilizing your SAP credentials here. You will be able to select from any of the companies that you have access to for your web client. And you'll also be able to limit who can sign into your web client with authorizations as well. Now, inside of this mobile client, you do have the ability to operate inside of SAP Business One screens in terms of creating and reviewing your sales documents, as well as your purchasing documents and your customer information, as well as some basic reporting and specific documentation for your customers while out at your customers. What that means is from an iOS or an Android device, like a tablet, your sales team can actually take SAP on the road with them. They can look up a customer's previous orders, a customer's previous cost for an item, as well as enter in new sales quotes and orders from that customer directly from the tablet while in that meeting with that customer, allowing them to not only enter in information in real time to make sure that it's all correct with the customer, but it also gives them more time to actually speak to the customer without having to take miscellaneous notes and enter it in once they get back to their office, cutting down on a lot of admin time. Once you're logged into your mobile client here, you'll see your standard dashboard here. This dashboard can be edited per user, so it is not a company-wide change should you make a change here. This is all related to your user here. The information in this screen will also be related to your user and the language that they have been using in SAP Business One. So whatever language they're using in SAP Business One, they are able to use that same in your mobile client. So if I'm looking at my settings here, I have the ability to change my edit homepage here. And I also have the ability to see my recent activity and frequently used activity. What this allows me to do is see what have I been doing and easily quickly open any of the previous documents I've been in recently or a report I've been in recently. You also have the ability to contact your support team from here as well. And here is your home menu here so that you can look up information while you're out on the road. You can look up and manage your customer relationship management module from here, which is including your activities, your opportunities, your quotes, your orders, and your business partner information. You can also review your sales, entering in new documents as well as reviewing old, your purchasing, your reports, as well as some useful links from SAP Business One, and some user-defined objects and tables. These user-defined objects and tables operate just like standard SAP Business One, so you can manage them directly from your mobile as well, including updating or adding in a new user-defined object or table, should you need to do that while you're out on the road. So now that we're seeing our main dashboard again, we have the ability to simply click on one of our options on our main dashboard, and it's going to open up the information that you see. My main option here is all of my open sales quotes. So if I simply click on this option here, it's going to allow me to see all of my open sales quotes in SAP Business One right now. This will also allow me to drill into the customer or simply click and drill into the document that's inside of SAP Business One as well. And again, this is all updated in real time. So if you're updating a quote while you're on the road, you don't have to worry that someone in the home office won't see your updates, as your updates will be done and seen in SAP just as if you were at your desk logging into Business One. So if I simply click my back button here, it's going to allow me to go back to my previous screen and then my dashboard as well. Using your quick search option at the top of your screen, you can also search for multiple things. If you can't see it on your dashboard and you want to find something quickly and easily, you simply have to search here and type in your search criteria. You also have the option from this screen to see any notifications that may have been sent to you or that you were perhaps copied on. These notifications will also include your activities. So you have these open activities here, and you'll be able to look into those activities directly from your mobile device. So you can update and close an activity, manage your campaigns, or perhaps close a campaign because you were able to close a sales order and create an invoice directly from being in your office with your client. I'm going to go back to my main screen here. And I'm just going to open up my menu once more and show that we also have a search menu here inside of SAP. So if you're looking for some information and you're not sure if that information is available from your mobile screen here, you can simply type in what you're looking for. I want to look up perhaps a purchase order. I'm just going to simply type in purchase, and just like in your standard B1, I'll be able to look up reports on my purchasing as well as my purchase quotes and orders directly from my mobile. So as I mentioned before, this option is available not only in your SQL system, but also in your HANA-based system, which is new, and that's all dependent upon that extended service layer that SAP has put out for all of our users to make all of your information a little bit easier to access. And all of your sales teams now have the ability to utilize this at any time. You, of course, can also give access to your warehouse team. If perhaps your warehouse team needs to have access via a tablet to see open orders or deliveries that need to go out, they can also access that information from here as well. It's all based upon just the standard user setup and user access in SAP Business One. So as you can see, I can see all of my open deliveries here. I can see my total of my deliveries. And I can simply click on each line to open up and get more information regarding these deliveries. This could perhaps help your team that's waiting at the dock in regard to filling up a truck for deliveries that need to go out. This will allow them to see all of that information without having to go to an office or contact someone else in your company for that information directly from their tablet. Now, last but not least, I'm simply going to go back into our SAP Business One main screen. and show you that we also now have the option for chatting our internal employees and coworkers. From your SAP option here on your toolbar, you have the live collaboration button. This opens up all of your users that are currently in SAP Business One and allows you to simply chat them. Anyone who has a green dot is active and signed into the system. Anyone without that green dot, you can still feel free to chat, but they obviously will not see that message until they log into SAP Business One. These chats will also automatically be saved with the information from the chatting partners until you utilize your delete history here at the bottom of your screen. This will allow you to keep in close contact with all of your other coworkers inside SAP Business One should you have any questions or concerns regarding any of your customers, an order, or a payment, and get a quick, easy answer from your team. So that is the end of our version 10 enhancement webinar today. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to ask now. As Leo mentioned earlier, this recording will be available, and I'm always available at VistaVu Solutions to give you a demo of version 10 should you have any additional questions or concerns, or you simply want to see how the system works and what you can accomplish utilizing version 10 versus your current version.
Thanks, Shannon, for a great Q&A cafe. I don't see any questions here, so I'd like to thank everyone who attended. Don't forget to join us on Wednesday, August 4th for our next Q&A cafe, actual costing in SAP Business by Design. And like Shannon just mentioned, the recording will be sent out in a few days, and we look forward to seeing you in our next cafe. I hope everyone has a great day.